I think I am live. It says the Hangout on Air is live, so I am live. Whether or not anybody can see me is a different story. The live Hangout on my side, there it comes. All right, so looks good. Yes, the mirror is still there. Yes, I am wearing pants, even though it doesn't look like it. So if anybody comes in here, let me know how I sound. I know that Chick Picker is having her listing challenge right now. So there may not be anybody in the chat, but that's okay. So I'll give it a few minutes to populate, if it does. It says 6 watching, so if you're here, you should shout yourself out so I know you're here. Philip and Dawn. Hey, Dawn, what's up? Sound good? All right. So I had like a really... Sarah, yay! Social Equity Seller. If you guys don't watch her videos, watch her videos. I haven't had a chance to catch one of her lives in a long time because I'm usually out and about when she's live. But if you can get her videos, watch them because they're really good. Cindy Rosen, what's up? We got 7 people watching. Misty J is here. Jason, my brother, is here. What's up, Jason? So I'm just going to get into it and show you guys what I found today and try to remember to tell you what prices I paid. Well, Sarah, you're one of the very first resellers I started watching, and I learned a ton from you. And I say that every time you come in my chat, but I learned a ton. So it was great, and I appreciate it. So you've made me more money than I would have if I had not watched your videos. So that's that. But anyway, so Deldon last night, the 9-pound hammer, didn't care for the fact that I showed all my haul video on his channel. So Deldon's a good guy. If you guys get a chance, go subscribe to the 9-pound hammer. It's all one word. He's a pretty cool guy. He's funny. He may Happy Father's Day, Jason. He may be a hard pill to swallow for some, but he's extremely cool, extremely funny, and he's a great guy to hang out with. And he knows his stuff. So we're just going to get right into it. I'll just do the first one. This one's going to take a little while. This one, I got this whole binder, and I got to get myself back on the other screen so I can see what I'm showing. There we go. I don't usually do the regular Google Hangouts anymore. I do the OBS software, but the Google Hangouts works good. Real liquidation every time you're in here. It's great. Anyway, so I got this binder. It's just an ordinary binder, but it had all these pages in it. And in those pages was a bunch of like 1930s just papers, different things. So I'm getting it out of the box. So forgive me if there's some noise. One item was, this is called Your Contented Baby. Pretty cool. This is from, I don't know if this one had a date on it. This one is one of the newest things in there. This is 1958. Doesn't probably really have any value, but it's cool. This is Good Housekeeping, or Good Things to Eat by Arm & Hammer. Dated, I think this is the 1930, 31, 32, somewhere in that range. Still not a lot of value. I paid $20 for all this stuff because there's some cool stuff in here. Just a cookbook. Quick dinners for the woman in a hurry. I haven't looked that one up yet. Probably not a lot of value. This one I did look up. This is from 1942. It is 500 tasty sandwiches. Yummy. 1942. It's also from the 40s. This one is menus for every day of the year. Like I said, not a lot of value in those. Now we'll start getting into some things that may have some value. This is Seeing Niagara Falls, the Gray Line, which is a tour company. It's a map. And Buffalo and See the Niagara Falls region by, this one's put out by, oh, I guess it doesn't say on there. I thought it was Sohio or one of those companies, but it's not. But these two maps I'll probably sell together. Probably $20 maybe. This one was really cool, but it's not worth as much as you'd think. You had 50 cents on it, but This is from 1943. It's the Ladies' Birthday Almanac. Some of the older ones can do really well. This one doesn't do as well. I'm trying to go through this stuff pretty quick, so because I got a lot of stuff, and it was really cool. This is another cookbook, How to Take a Trick a Day with Bisquick. And it's got like celebrities at the top. Who are they? I don't know. They're all, oh, Clark Gable, Countess Vale, the Saint something, I don't know. May Robson, Mrs. Thomas J. Hillard, Dick Powell, and Neil B. Nichols or something like that. I don't know. Bunch of old celebrities at the top. Pretty cool. If anybody wants any of this stuff, let me know. The cookbooks up aren't going to be high value. This is Lum and Abner's, which was a radio show back in the day, and they put out these almanacs every year. This is from 1936. Family Almanac and Helpful Hints. Again, not a lot of value. My flea market is in a place called Andover, Ohio. It is in the northeast corner of the state of Ohio, because that's where I live. This stuff was from yard sales, though. This was one yard sale. I'll show the flea market stuff at the end because it's probably the best thing I found. Well, one of the best things I found. This one was really cool. This is Ice Book. I don't know if you can see that through the plastic. It's from Decatur, Alabama, and it's good for 200 pounds of ice. Again, not a lot of value, but really cool. And it's an unused ticket book. So before refrigeration, you had an ice box, and that's why you call the refrigerator or the freezer the ice box. This one I looked up, and it should be worth about $30. This is the Pennsylvania Turnpike. It's from 1940, which is the year that the Turnpike opened. It opened in October of 1940, and this was printed in 1940. So I'm guessing this is a map or a brochure for the opening of the Turnpike. I haven't looked into it. I haven't opened it up yet. I'll save this one for last in this book because I'll need some help on this one. This one was really cool. I haven't looked this up yet either. This is a baby book. So you know the baby books where you put your the remembrances of your baby. So you can put footprints in there, and that's the wardrobe. So that's birthday gifts and Christmas gifts. But this book is unused. It's from I wanted to say it was 1950 something. There's no date on it. Maybe it might be older than that, but it's by the American National Insurance Company of Galveston, Texas. And the agent put his stamp on there. This is really cool. This is the kind of stuff I want to sell because it's small, it's easy, it's cool. Macaroni May says, yay. My first book, Trot and Mickey. I can't find this anywhere online, so I don't know what it is, but it's made by Hillsdale School Supply and Publishing Company, Hillsdale, Michigan, 1933. And on the back it says, printed by the Ann Arbor Press, Ann Arbor, Michigan. But it's a little old school book. Probably not a lot of value in it, but I can't find any other ones online, so I don't know. This is a postcard, and I don't know if you guys recognize that guy, but that's Hopalong Cassidy. And this is from 1942. And on the back it says, Hopalong chooses the new 1942 Chrysler Town and Country station wagon as his personal car. By the way, I'm Steve, not Scott. I don't know who you're talking about. Who's Scott? Anyway, this is from 1942. It's about $5, but it's still a cool card. And I seen that in there, and I said, I got to buy the whole thing. So, because I knew there was other stuff. I've gotten called Scott so many times in my life, and I don't know why. I do a show with Scott. This is a Ohio Guide to Greater Cleveland. It's from the 30s. I'm not sure if there's I haven't opened this one yet because this one's a little fragile, but it looks like 1930s for sure. In fact, there's probably a copyright there. 1937 on this one. Some of these Ohio, I don't mind. You can call me anything you want. Some of these old Ohio maps do really well. This is a coupon book, valuable premiums, free for rival coupons. Right on there is dog food, rival dog. The only problem is he put the sticker right on the paper, and I'm not sure if I can get that off. But you have There's like Stanley thermoses and things in there, and lunch boxes and a grill. There's a camera on the front of the thing, a brownie camera. There's clothing. But I just love this old paper stuff. There's a scale, bathroom scale in there. Scissors. Lots of scissors. So, yeah, I'm going to try that, Sarah, because I don't know if that thing has any value, but what I might do is lot some of this stuff up and sell it as a lot. And so I'd like to get the sticker off. Most of this stuff was in plastic sleeves. It happens. You're right, Cindy. It happens. This is an airgram from 1929. I've been told that this stamp right here is worth about $10. I don't know. I just seen the same exact one sell on eBay for like $4. The whole airgram. So that's the other side. It is from Davenport Hotel in Spokane, Washington. And on the inside is really cool because it opens up like this and then like this. And there's a letter I haven't read yet. But the stamp on the front is like the first day of flight stamp. So, I don't know. Interesting. And we'll see if it's worth anything and if I can figure out how to fold it. Okay. This one is from the 20s. I forget the exact date on it. I'll look it up again. This is called Your Dream Book. It's just a little paper pamphlet. It's put out by Dr. Pierce's Invalids Hotel and Surgical Institute. It's very fragile, but this goes for about $15. So I won't lose any money on this stuff. It's really, really cool stuff. There's a map. This one I've got up for $20, I think, right now. No, this one's on auction. Colonial Virginia Ferry Routes, put out by the Chesapeake Bay Ferry Company, and it's got it's super colorful. And on the inside, the map is like very vibrant still, so it should sell. We'll see. I couldn't find it. I could only find one other copy of this online, and it was selling for $95, but it's on a private website, and I'm sure that's not the real price of it. So this is just a little calendar put out by a garage in 1947. It says Jimmy's Delivery Service. So I don't know what they were delivering, but it's from 4031 Station Avenue, Ashtabula, Ohio. And that's pretty close to where I'm at. This one I have listed already. This is a map of the State Highway System of Ohio, 1931. And it's a full map. It's one of those really big fold-out maps. It does have some condition issues, but it should still sell. This is the Keystone Butler. This is from Butler, Pennsylvania. What's up, Scott? Yes, I'm redoing my haul video because Delden didn't like it. This is from 1931. It's from Butler, Pennsylvania, Keystone Pipe and Supply Company. That one's listed already. I got some really cool stuff, though, that I didn't show last night that I got today. So this looks like helpful hints and aids for the household, the home guide. I didn't look that one up yet. It's put out by the Cleveland Retail Grocers Association. And the last thing in this box, these are really cool. And I have these up for auction right now. This is called the Knicker from 1934. And what this is from Baker's Department Store, which is a men's store in Cleveland. I don't know if they still operate, but they were in business for a long time. But this was the boys department in the store. What's cool about it is I got 4 of them. 3 of them come with the original envelopes. So there's one in this one, and there's a couple more. There's nothing online about this Knickers, or it's called Tim's Store, and it's Euclid and 9th, Tim's Store, 3rd floor. So I don't know, but they're just little like newsletters or brochures, and there's an advertisement in some of them for shoes, and on the other side is a sweater. So they're really cool. So if anybody knows about those, let me know. I put them up for $20, I think, or I don't know, $20 on auction or something of that nature. I'm going to put all this stuff back in the box so I don't ruin it, because and all this stuff, except for a couple pieces, is in really, really super nice condition. So the guy said he got it out of his father's attic, and this guy was pretty old, so put that in there. But this one was the coolest one out of that lot. This is called Horse Sense. It's written by W.M.J.H. Boetker, and look him up online. He's responsible for a lot of the quotes and stuff we know today, political mostly. He was a reverend, and then he became this speaker that toured the world. He was from around here. You can see the inside of the book. This is a practical safety talk from a new angle. Horse Sense, William J. Boetcker. I cannot find this online. This one, it has been reprinted on Google Books, but I couldn't find it online. I can't find any of his publications online that weren't reprints. So if anybody can help me out with that one, that's really cool. I showed this one last night on Delvin's show. This is just one of those spy gear night vision things. These go for 30 to 50 bucks. This is the reportable one. Set that aside. One of the coolest finds all weekend were these sunglasses. These are from 1940s. They are made by American Optical. They're 12 karat gold filled, and they're really cool. And they got green lenses. I don't know if you can see that. The inside is Bakelite. It looks like Bakelite, and the nose pads are Bakelite. These I have listed for $250. I paid $2 for these. I paid $1 for that night vision goggles, and you can find those a lot. These ones didn't smell musty. He got them out of the attic, and attics tend to be a little less musty. A lot of people store them in bad areas, but he got them out of the attic. I paid $2 for those sunglasses. I think I said that. 13 viewers, it says. How come Delvin gets all the thumbs down? I don't even get any. Somebody give me a thumbs down and make me feel better. Just a real quick one. I got this little camera. This is a C1530 Kodak Easy Share. I've been taking my eBay pictures with it. I don't really like the autofocus on it, so I'm going to have to figure it out, but it does take really nice pictures once you actually get them done. So that one was $1 at a yard sale. It's not a really high-end camera. We have a family softball game coming up, so I got this at the Goodwill today, $1.99, brand new softball. Not for resale. Whoa, this needs a lot of cleaning, but this thing is really cool. This is a Gremlin. It is put out by a company called Fresh Cherry. I don't think they make this anymore. It does work. I'm not going to turn it on because it's loud. The green one is super hard to find with the big back wheels. The other ones sell for like 20 to 40. This one could go, if you found it new in the box, it goes over 100. I don't know what it is loose because I didn't see any sold. But it came with the controls and everything. It's really cool. I had it out in the yard. I'll need to get a new battery. It's just a standard RC battery. But man, that thing's awesome. $5. It was filthy though. I've still got a lot of cleaning to go on that. This was half off at a yard sale yesterday. It is a Nike vintage. You can see the vintage tag. And it's got the Nike spell out on the back. It's a winter coat. I think this one will, I know that car, that green car is awesome. I think this one will go for about 50 bucks. I got it for $4. They had everything half off. This is a little Hughley tractor. If you find this in good condition, like it should have tracks on it, you know, the little rubber tracks, and it has either a plow or a bucket on the front. This one's missing that. So this one doesn't really have a lot of value, but if you find it in good condition, it can have quite a bit of value. I paid 25 cents for this. So not bad. A friend of mine actually had a Gremlin in the 80s. It was green, just like that one. Not as bright a green, but a darker green. And then one of my other friends had a Bobcat. Remember those? Those things were crazy. All right. Next find. This is at a yard sale yesterday, and I got it. And don't judge. That is Brett Favre. But anyway, there's 3 games here. But I didn't buy it for Brett Favre. I didn't buy it for WCW NWO. bought it for this game because this one goes for about $20 to $25 on eBay. And you can see I paid $2 for the whole lot. So they're all Nintendo 64 games. I don't have a Nintendo 64 currently. I sold mine, and the one that I have is broken. So I have to hold on to those until I can test it. I don't like selling games that aren't tested. John Denver and the Muppets. Okay, probably no resale value, but who doesn't want that? I think I paid $0.25 for this at a yard sale. And everyone I've seen online doesn't have the sleeve, but this one does. I love this stuff. Oh, I'm not done, Cindy. I've spent about $150 this weekend, maybe a little bit more. Everybody knows about Polaroid film. This is Spectra film. I got 2 of them. These ones expired in 2000. This one expired in 1999. The next one expired in 2000. I got 4 of these. 2 of them are resellable. The other 2 had so much damage on the box, like water damage, and I didn't want to sell them. So I'm going to try them next time I get a good Polaroid. 2 of these. This is a Panasonic, and this is a General Electric. They both work. The Panasonic goes for about $20, and the General Electric goes for about $20. The Panasonic is RN-104, and it does work real well. I got that today at the flea market, and I'm not seeing the model number on the GE one. It's on there somewhere. But anyway, just, you know, your basic voice-activated recorders. Also, today at the Goodwill, I actually stopped at the Goodwill on the way to the flea market. I got some of these DVD-Rs for cameras so that when I get the next camera like that, I can put it with it, load it up. What next? Sometimes these things sell really well, so my wife wanted me to pick it up. It's a nut bowl with all the things. It looks like a log. They can go for up to $30. So if you ever see those, if they're super cheap, but they're heavy, so shipping might be an issue. Put that over there. Scott will be happy. There you go, bearded picker. Picked up this Magnavox. It is ZV420MWS. It's a DVD recorder, 4-head hi-fi stereo. This was at the Goodwill today when I stopped by. It says DVD works, VHS does not, but it came with the remote and the AV cables, and I'll just throw AV cables in with anything that I sell. And the remote on this one looks like it's worth about $25. So if I can get the VHS working, I'll sell the whole unit. It should go for around, I think it was 150, 125. This was $5. I didn't see any Sonys. I wish I had, but this is a really nice unit. It's super heavy. So even if it doesn't work, the remote alone will go for $25 on that one. Even if it's $15, I still made my money on that. Been trying my luck with ball gloves. This is a Mizuno. This one in better condition probably goes for $30. So I might get 20 out of that one. And this is a Dudley softball glove that I'm keeping for myself. So this is a nice glove, actually. Really nice glove. Doesn't have a lot of resale value, but it's a really nice, well-made glove. Don't do a lot of ball gloves because I don't find quality ones around here. All right. Oh, Legos. I found some Legos. This is the Star Wars. It's been open, but if everything's here, it should go for $25 to $30 used. It looks like it's all there. I did check both minifigs are in there. And it looks like all the pieces are there. I just haven't put it together yet. Most of it's put together, so that helps. And I did get another Lego. This one is just a small little thing. They included this one in Loot Crate, and the yard sale I was at had some other Loot Crate stuff, but I picked this because when I scanned the barcode, it came up at $30. And this one's new. It's had a little condition issues, so I listed that one last night. That's listed. I'll show that in a minute. I showed this one on Delden's show last night. This is Four-Legged Friends. It's one of those cricket cartridges. If you see these, they can be really good. This one should go for $35 to $40. Only buy them if they're new sealed, because these cartridges get linked to a specific user account. And if they're used, they may still be linked to that account, and it's a pain in the ass to get them unlinked. I've had a cricket for a long time, so I knew beforehand buying these. Yes, I scanned it right there. I always do. I'm getting over my fear that I used to not. I used to be afraid to scan things in the yard sales because I thought somebody might say something. But you know what? Nobody's ever said anything. We got people like Scott, the bearded picker, who walks in with a giant camera hanging. So, what's up, Rod? All right. So, I showed this one last night, I think. TI 84 Plus. Everybody knows about these things. This one's already sold for $60. I paid $5.40 at a yard sale yesterday. So I sold it within an hour of putting it up. I got to stand up for a second because this next find is super cool. Oh, and super heavy. I don't know what I'm going to do for it. This thing sells for about $60. It needs a really, really good cleaning. It looks like somebody had it out in the garage. Check that out. That is an Emerson TV radio cassette player boombox from the 80s. And I have the screen on. You can see it works. Everything works on this. I need to clean it up and put the antenna back on. But that thing is sweet. So I don't know what I can get out of it. I've seen one sold for $60. I don't think I want to sell that because that thing weighs about, I bet you it weighs 15 pounds anyway. That's cool. Oh! And while I'm up, I'll get the next heavy item. PS2. Fat, not a lot of resale value, but it came with a bunch of games and a whole giant, you see that Hammer Mill box back there? That whole Hammer Mill box was full of cords and games, and there's a lot of Xbox 360 stuff in there. Yeah, I know I should, Scott. But I paid $20 for the whole lot, and there was a lot of good resaleable stuff in there. This had a Ratchet and Clank game in it. I think it was Ratchet and Clank. Maybe it was Crash Bandicoot. Anyway, that game went for as much as I paid for the whole thing. So I haven't listed any of it yet, but I will. So no shows tonight. I think I'm the only one. Well, I know Chick Picker's doing her show right now, but her listing challenge. But I know the Reseller 6-pack isn't on tonight, and I'm not doing my regular Sunday show, so on my other channel. But you have to deal with me, right? Maybe that's why I got 14 viewers. Oh, I got the thumbs down I was asking for too. Thank you, Scott. This is a little 8mm film, Cleveland Browns. And it came in with these things. And I'm still trying to figure out who showed me. $165 on bids on your $3 hat lot. Nice, man. Maybe I should auction them. But I got this whole box, which is all these little envelopes. And what's in these envelopes are these cards. And they're APBA, Baseball League, which is like a fantasy baseball game before fantasy baseball existed. On the back is player stats on each card. And each envelope is a different team. So this is the Detroit Tigers, and you got all the players. There should be 20 cards per envelope per team. So I got to figure out what's up, John. You could have gave a thumbs down, John. I don't care. I'm not gonna be upset. But anyway, so that whole lot plus this NFL game, and there was this little curly postcard in there. Pretty cool. It's not worth anything, but it's cool. That was $5, and the cards, if they're all there, should sell for $95 to $125. So if you look up ABPA baseball, you'll see them on eBay. They're really cool, actually. Let's see, what else do I got? Oh, I almost forgot. For those of you who weren't watching Delvin's show last night, this is a PXL 2000. It's made by Fisher Price. You took it back? Damn you, Scott. I just want one. Well, when I get some pictures of those, Rod, I will post them on like in the Reseller Society or something. Anyway, this is a PXL 2000. It's a little video camera made in 1987 by Fisher Price. Look those up. They can go really good. Alan, there is no slip today. Chris said life got in the way. I don't know what that means. I don't ask questions, so the show won't be on today. Alan is a fan of my other show, and Alan is asking about that show, which is called The Freudian Slip, if anybody wants to check it out. It is not for the faint of heart, but Alan was coming on to check, so we are not doing the show today. All right, what else? Oh, I just got so much stuff. It's hard to find it all in this little tiny room. This is a Stanley thermos and cooler. I don't know what the value is on that, but it was $2, so I bought it. I know some of them can go really well. It's used, it's missing the lid, but that thing will work really well. So did I get through everything? And now I can show you the really, 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 really cool thing. I think I got through everything. Let me look again. All right. Best find of the day. I was at the flea market today. All I had gotten was that one little voice recorder. It's like 85 degrees out with high humidity, and it was nasty and horrible and bad. So one of the last vendors in the whole flea market had this, and I had $8 left on me because I only took like $20 with me. But anyway, I had $8. My wife had bought a couple small things, and so $8 left on me. So he had this on the table, and I had seen another reseller talk about this at one point. I think it was Flipping for a Living, the guy out of Canada who was really cool. I can't remember his name offhand. Somebody help me in the chat here if you remember his name. He's from Canada. He's a really cool guy. But I think he picked one of these up, and that's how I found out about these. But I'll just show you the brochure first. It's a Nishika N8000. So if anybody knows about these, they'll know it's a 3D camera. And you can see it takes the lenticular. I don't know if you can actually see the effect, but it takes the lenticular photos, which are like have a 3D effect. So that's the brochure that came with it. And he proceeds to tell me that he got this for a gift in the 80s and he never used it. So here it is. Richard Brayshaw. Yeah, he's a really, really cool, really knowledgeable guy. Let me see if I can get the glare off. It actually came, it still has the original plastic sleeve. It's still sealed inside. It is the Nishika N8000. But Richard, I think it's Richard that came across two of these one day. And they were all brand new sealed, just like this one. It came with a twin light 3010. And inside this box is the original carry case for it. Still sealed. So everything was still sealed. I'm not going to pull the camera out of the box right now, but I will get you a better picture so that you can see what this camera looks like. Took the plastic sleeve off. I mean, this thing is phenomenal. Nishika N8000 3D. You use regular 35 millimeter film. You had to send it off to Nishika's place, and they would actually send you back those things. This camera can go for up to $400. New sealed like this with the light, twin light, and the carry bag and the brochure, and even the original mailing envelopes to mail your film back to the company are in here. So this thing is brand new. The original AA batteries are still sealed inside, and the strap for the camera is still sealed inside. The original silica, I'll pull it out. Why not? It ain't going to hurt nothing. So you'll see when I pull it out, all the brochures, and those are the film envelopes right there. What do we got now? Watching 12. So that's one. They gave you two. There's a warranty card. Here is a order form for more film or more parts. I don't know if anybody else has ever found one of these, but these can go for a lot of money. A couple of years ago, they were selling for like $20. What people use these for nowadays is to make animated GIFs, because the 3D image you can make an animated GIF out of. There's another order form. So it's probably a good thing to put that in your title. And once people realized you could use these old cameras for that, the price just shot up. another brochure that came with it, guidelines for taking the best 3D pictures, the original owner's manual. So that's everything that's there before the camera. And when we open it up, you can see the original AA batteries are still sealed, the camera strap, and the camera itself with the original silica in it. So I was pretty excited. So what happened, he was the last, I wonder where those actually go. He was the last vendor of the day, and I was out of money, and he said $10. And I said, well, I only have $8. And he said, sorry, I got to get $10. And I said, okay. So I went off to the side and looked this up just to make sure that $10 was a good deal, because I wasn't 100% sure this was the actual one that I seen on YouTube. And I looked it up and I saw what the comps were on it. Go ahead and look it up for yourself. You know, it's pretty crazy. Some of them don't sell for a lot, but some of them do. This one, I'm going to put it 400 or best offer. So I looked up the comps and I went over to my wife and I said, man, I wish I knew somebody at this flea market I could borrow $2 from. So, and I didn't, of course. My ex-wife does sell there, but she only sells on Saturdays, so I couldn't go find her and borrow $2. I'll try to get that all back in there. Sell-through rate is awesome on these things. There's not a lot listed. I think I only have like 4 competitors with this stuff. There's only like 17 listings right now active. So I should have this sold hopefully within a week. And I'm thinking maybe I won't even put best offer on it, but we'll see. I'm pricing right in the middle of where they're at listed right now. There's a couple cheaper and a couple more expensive. I think one guy has it for this plastic sleeve is a pain in the ass to get back on. So I may have to do that after the video. In fact, the guy had it inside the box, and I couldn't get the box closed. I'm like, what the hell? Because it doesn't go on inside the box. And it took me a few minutes, but I realized, hey, that plastic sleeve goes on the outside. So I'll do that later. Comps are awesome on this thing, aren't they, Scott? So anyway, I had to leave the flea market, go up to because I'm not using the flea market's ATM. They charge you an exorbitant copay on those. So I had to leave the flea market, go to the bank, which luckily there was a local bank around, and found the bank, went back to the flea market. I had a 20. I stopped and asked the guy to hold it for me, and I said, here's $8. I'll be back. Hold the camera for me. And so I went to the bank, I got a 20. Well, it cost 50 cents to get back into the flea market. That's all our flea market charges for admission, so it's not bad. And broke the 20 with the 50 cents and paid him his $2. He gave me the whole story all over again of how he got it for a gift, and he never used it. He wanted to use it and never did. And so that was that. And so that'll be listed tonight. But I'm going to put a link in the chat now that my haul is over, and I could do it without any problems if somebody wants to come in. 13 live viewers today. So that is it. I don't know. What do you guys think? Pretty good haul? I think so. The sunglasses now the sunglasses will probably take a while to sell, I'm guessing. I don't know if that's how you do it. I took the link out of the bar here. I've never invited people to go hang out before, so I don't know how that works. So that is worked. What do you guys think? Pretty good haul? You got to turn the sound off, Scott. You know this already.
Yeah, I was going for it whenever you. And I was going over my haul video. Mine's uploading right now. I bought something to show everybody. You know, everybody knows the HP 12C and the little HP calculators are good.
Yeah.
I picked this one up. It looks just like it. It's a 15C.
I'm gonna lock screen on you so people can see.
And I didn't think much of it. I paid the $5 for it. Figured I'm gonna get 25. I did my 12 a few weeks ago. The 15C goes anywhere from 300 to 170. Couldn't believe it.
Holy Lord!
So everybody knows the TI calculators. You know, they bring 40, 50, 60, $70. there's a lot of money in the HPs. You don't find them nearly as much, but they all have an old school look on them.
I've found them, but some of them, the ones I find aren't
So that's
shit.
I'm gonna put it up for $199 or best offer. Somebody got $360 for one, and they've got as low as 90, and there's not a lot of them out there. So I figured, $199, see what happens.
What do you think of that camera I found today, man? That thing's pretty sweet and new in the box.
I had seen the video you're talking about because I follow that guy. So
I want to say it was Richard Brayshaw that flipping for a living. I'm pretty sure it was him.
Yeah, when you said it, I'm like, oh wow, I think I know that camera. And I started looking at comps immediately. I'm like, oh yeah, that camera's great.
Holy hell, right? And luckily, I have a horrible memory. I mean, probably have the worst memory in the world. But when it comes to this stuff, if I see it when I'm out and about, I'm like, hey, I saw that on a video, and I know it had this and this such value. But if you asked me about a Nishika N8000 yesterday, I would have said, what the hell are you talking about? But once I saw it, I'm like, oh, I know that camera. And I remember him doing that video, and I'm like, I'm going to look up the comps real quick after I had talked to this guy, and he would not budge on his $10.
That's
so, and I only had $8 with me.
I don't get fooled a lot, but this calculator, that's why I came on to tell you. I'm like, man, this thing it's worth 5 times what I thought it was.
Which one is it?
It's a HP 15C.
15C. The link is in the chat if anybody else wants to come in. I don't mind. I'm not really doing anything. The only thing I'm going to do is get this camera listed today, and maybe I got to clean up that TV thing. That TV thing is cool. That old boombox TV. I don't think it's got a ton of resale value, but I'll probably end up with it in my garage or something. $5 for that.
Other weird thing I found was in Austin, I found the blue box, that Cocomotion in the Goodwill is the Mr. Coffee's top chocolate maker. I found another one yesterday for $4, new seal.
I was looking for that today, and because I went to the flea market today. It's not the biggest flea market in the world, but there's probably 200, maybe 300 vendors there on a good day. And today was a good day. And I looked at every booth for one of those, and I didn't see one.
Yeah, you find them in Goodwill. I see them every now and then.
I've never seen one in Goodwill either. Well, of course, I just learned about it yesterday. But like that Nishika, I seen that he had it there last year.
Right, I remember.
I never thought anything about it. I walked past it last year. Well, no, I didn't walk past it. I asked him how much he wanted for it last year, and it was $30. And I didn't know anything about the camera. The internet service there is really, really bad. There's no service there. Well, for some reason, the service is better this year, and I can look things up at the flea market. Well, I didn't look it up last year, and then he did that video, and that's how I remembered. And I'm like, okay, this year I'm buying it. Even if it was $30, I would have went to the bank and got the money.
Yeah, maybe the cell service added a tower or something to cover a weak spot. You never know.
Yeah, I think so, because I noticed like right here where I'm at was a weak spot, and now it's good, and a couple other places. So I think they've been adding a lot of towers lately.
Yeah, they supposedly added one out here by the house somewhere, but I can't tell the difference.
Rod, you had some great finds this weekend. Those hats.
Yeah, his hats. He said he's at $300 or
$165 in bids on his 3 hats.
$3 hats. They paid $3 for the hats. That's amazing.
And Rod, you're welcome to come in and show them off if you want. I have no problems with other people showing stuff off on my channel.
Ooh, I just
and I'm just messing with you. I've had a slow day, but I've been out all day and I haven't listed anything today, and that kind of. I'm still locked on you. I think I got unlocked. There we go.
You don't want to scare your audience like that.
That's probably why nobody else came in.
Yeah, they were scared. He's gonna lock it on me.
Oh, I got my 1 thumbs down back.
Yeah, I'll put it back for you. You begged for it. So. I'll probably change it. I'll probably change it before I leave, but.
Yeah, if you like this video, hit the thumbs up. If you don't like it, hit the thumbs down twice. That's the trick.
And I found another odd camera. I don't know where I put it. I think it might be still in my pocket.
Oh, last time. Yeah, go ahead.
It's called a Sony Bloggy. The little top spins.
Oh, cool.
So it's a little blogging camera. It's got a screen on the back, and they make 3 or 4 models, but this is the expensive model. I got it this exact same house that I got the calculator at. It sells used for like 35, but it's just weird. Some of these weird cameras, you got to look them up because you just never know. And I didn't have a battery charger for it, but I got a camera lot in that auction last week. One of the chargers that goes to this camera, so that worked out pretty good.
I did find one Polaroid today, and then it instantly hit me. You said you sold the Spectras and they sell good for you. It's not the Spectras that don't sell good for me. It's the Impulse. And that's what I found today. Yeah, the Impulse doesn't sell.
Yeah, I got a camera. I got a Canon. I got one yesterday too for $2. Polaroid.
Oh man, I love finding them because it's instant money. I mean, as soon as I list them, it's almost always retrospect, and they buy them. If you price them at $28 shipped, they'll buy them instantly. Right. And it didn't matter if it was working or not, because I put that last one up as untested. So same price, instantly. And then they are really good about leaving positive feedback really quick too. As soon as they get it, inspect it, they give you positive feedback. So
yeah, we stopped at we went to a bunch of yard sales and we're finding a ton early. So we stopped at a thrift store after we went there on the last yard sale, and I found that. And what else? I bought something else. So old kitchen stuff. Let me grab that thing. It's strange what sells.
Oh, I'm supposed to fill in the dead air while Scott's away.
I'm back. Back in the 80s, Presto was a big name in kitchen and gadgets and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And this is a hot topper, but it's not the one you normally see has a power cord and a little brush for like corn and stuff. This one you put in the microwave and it melts it, and then it's kind of like a little, I guess it's kind of pressurized or whatever. You just spray it. I gave $5 for it. The stupid thing sells for 38 shipped. But if you wouldn't think of it, you look at it and go, eh. But
it's the same as like those stupid salad shooters. Those things, this time of year, I can't get rid of them. But you come around October when people are starting to think about Christmas season, they're cookie presses is what they are. They're super shooters. And those things fly off the shelf for like 30, 40, $50.
Yeah, but so Presto from the 80s and early 90s. Look at, especially, I'll find it new in a box every now and then. It's $30, $40 every time. I've got 5 in that one, so it won't take. There are so few of them in new condition that it'll sell pretty quick.
Eric Gunter says, hey guys, does anyone know what happened to Deldon's live stream video from last night? It was there this morning, went back an hour later, and it's gone. Don't know. Don't know. It was there last time I looked.
It's not there anymore.
Maybe it's the beer bottle discussion. I don't know. They went a little, but I don't think anybody would have.
No, there was a little bit of an argument over a guest that came on late.
Oh, yeah. See, I left it at 11 o'clock or so.
You know, and I just asked him, I'm like, just think about it. You know, with the chat going crazy and you've got 30 thumbs down, that, you know, maybe if you're a smaller channel trying to build a channel, maybe that's not the right thing to keep up.
So he probably took it down then.
Yeah, he probably took it down.
You can tell me off air about that one.
But it was just a bunch of nonsense. There was nothing reseller related. I mean, there was a few things here or there, but after your haul, then it was just a bunch of craziness.
No, that's why I like Deldon because he's funny, but maybe I think he's still trying to find himself too on YouTube, and he'll get there. He's a good guy.
Oh yeah, it's just. Especially when you're trying to build a channel too, that's not the time. I mean, once you've got a big audience, you can kind of do whatever. But if you're trying to build something, it's not the time to.
Well, and then you can people can report your videos if you have certain content that's not acceptable in their mind. And YouTube is like shoot first, ask questions later a lot of the time. Same with Facebook. Shoot first, ask questions later. And your videos can get pulled if you have certain things that people don't care for.
And I think he's got a different angle from things too. So he's, once he gets to warehouse, he's gonna start doing some live auctions. He's an auctioneer. He can really, make some footage of things and be completely different. There's nobody out that I know of that's out there who
not like him,
who was an auctioneer in the reselling game, who would be able to, to be able to video and or even live broadcast their auctions. He's a licensed auctioneer.
That would be awesome. There are some, but they're not like resellers. They're just auctioneers, So like the guys from Storage Wars, those auctioneers that are on there, they have a YouTube channel. I watch them sometimes, but not often. But most of them aren't resellers. They're just showing highlights of the auction, and that's it.
Right. So, I think he's wise to protect himself. So did I. Because I think he's got it. He'll get some subscribers up, and then I think he's got an angle that no one else has, or at least in the community that we see a lot of resellers. Because he has an interesting story that he can tell you, this is what I've got out of the storage lockers, and this is what I've got in it. Watch me sell it and see what I make. And so everybody who's watching it will know what he's got in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it'd be a live kind of, live results instead of a haul video. I mean, he's got an interesting angle once he gets there.
And it's just like all of us, it takes time. It takes time to find your footing. And I'm not there yet. I mean, I do videos whenever I feel like it. I don't have any angle. I just like to show my stuff off. That's it. What I found. I think it's neat. With people who kind of appreciate that sort of thing.
Yeah, because it's one of the things that keeps me making videos is I like making videos and I like showing it. I like seeing what I find and what we're doing. Because you spend so much time by yourself, and it's other than maybe your immediate family, it's a lonely game. So it's a way to bring in, even if they live like Dawn in California, bring in people.
Dawn's been doing some videos lately. I haven't caught a lot of them yet, but she's been doing a few.
Yeah, I caught one the other night. They were singing something crazy.
Oh boy. John Johnson, or better known as
Juan.
Oh no, you didn't hijack the show. We're just hanging out talking. I don't see John, but I see a gray square. What's up, man?
That's pretty much me. Nothing. Let me get it. I'll get it fixed.
Oh, it's all good. I got to ask you a few questions about OBS here.
Yeah, he's the OBS master.
Well, my frame rate, I think it's my frame rate or something. Something's going wrong when I try to broadcast. Like you sent me that link about how to do it through Google Hangouts, and I did it one night, and my stream was horrible. I mean, it was bad. Is there something in OBS that I need to change?
Yeah, let me go into my OBS here, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Let me get you. You guys continue to talk, and let me get set up so I can.
Oh, we ain't got shit to say.
Okay. Let's see. I'm going to do a screen share then. Here's my screen share.
I think I'm locked on me, so let me lock on you.
Okay. Are you locked on me?
Yeah.
Okay, so what you do is you go to File, and you go to Settings, and then you go to your Output.
Okay.
And with your streaming here, this is your streaming tab. I don't know how well my internet is.
It's good right now.
Okay, you see the streaming tab, and these are your rate control. You want that to be CBR, constant bit rate. And you're on YouTube, what you have to do is you have to go do a speed test and see how fast your upload is.
Right.
If your upload is consistently at 5, you want your bit rate to be set. You multiply that by 1,000. So if it's 5, you set your bit rate at 5,000, and your buffer rate's at 5,000. If it's at 3, then you set it at 3,000, and your buffer size is at 3,000. So what I've done is I've got 5 up, but I can set it between 2,500 and 3,500, depending on how good my connection is. I'll go in and tweak it while I'm doing the show. And depends on how good your computer is. CPU usage, you can go to fast. The higher ultra fast is the worst setting, and placebo is the best, and there's no computer on the market that's going to run much better than faster. Faster is probably where you want to be, because that utilizes your processor to process more of the bit rate and your buffer size. So the keyframe interval, I set at 0, and I do use a custom buffer size, so I marked that. Other than that, that is exactly what I do, and I do that too, and it seems to work. I normally stream at 1080, or I don't stream at 1080p. I stream at 720. So for me, it's just a. I can quit screen sharing now. For me, it's just the issue of do I need? I don't need 720. I don't need high frame rate. I like to upload my videos at 7 or 810 or whatever, 820 or 720 or 810, or sorry, 1020 or whatever, 1080. That's it. I'm an idiot. Sorry. I started putting out numbers like an auctioneer, but so that's just how I set it up.
Yeah, I had it all set up at one time, like last maybe 6 or 8 months ago. Then I bought this new computer and I forgot how to do it. So now you just reminded me.
If you have any questions,
fix it.
If you have any questions later, we can just get together in a private hangout. We'll fix it for you.
The only other thing is you have to flip your screen all the time, and I don't know how to do that.
Yeah, we can. I can explain all that to you. Only if you go through Google Hangout, and now with the new going live feature on YouTube, you have to invert everything too, which is real easy. It's just you just flip your images. OBS is the best program ever. It's free.
I love it.
I would pay $300 for it. I'd pay $400 for it if I was getting monetized on my YouTube channel, but it's free, so it works out great for me.
John
Where'd Delvin go? I thought
Delvin wasn't in here. I haven't seen him today.
Oh, I thought he was in chat. I wasn't sure.
Well, I don't see him in chat. He might have been.
I heard Scotty Too Hotty talking about him, and I agree with what he says, that Delvin has the potential of making a unique channel and doing unique things with his YouTube.
Like, and he's just got to find his place, and he'll get there.
I tell him all the time. I was like, "You nice and slow." I said, "Nobody, unless you create some kind of viral video. If you're Steve and Steph and you literally find my wife's vacuuming, and you literally find Bigfoot and you film it, that's probably like the only way you're going to blow up overnight."
I've actually had a couple viral videos on my other channel. On my other, it's a Bigfoot related channel, and I've had a couple viral, and it brings in a lot of new subscribers, but it doesn't bring in a lot of extra money. Let's put it that way. So. Yeah,
because the people that are gonna make you money when you do become monetized. Just to give some shout outs to some of the people that I see, like Dawn and Cindy and Rod, and people that are constantly Treasure Vintage, Grandma Wrinkles for sure. Hey sister, people that you always see in your chat, always see in your and for some of these people, they may be constantly in your lives and they're not in mine, but they're the people that I see everywhere. Yeah. Where Socially Awkward Seller, like these people they're like me, you, and my bearded charmer there. They're just sitting around listening and watching YouTube live videos, and they don't realize that helps us out when they just play. Like when I go to bed at night, I'll go on to like Vicky's channel, or I'll go on to somebody's channel that has a long video. Scott, I left his playing last night when I went to bed. I didn't watch all of his video, but it played like, I don't know how, I just left him playing all night long. So he gets money off that.
You'd be awful sad
when he gets monetized.
You'd be awful sad to see all the great stuff I got.
I would be.
Awesome. I don't think I didn't finish Scott's video yesterday. I started watching it, and
also was a serious haul. I'm glad I put you to sleep. That's all.
Well, Dusty's videos do it too. So
yeah, Dusty's videos. I like Dusty, but I can't watch them because they're just long, and I'm like, I can watch them live.
I'll watch them. I'll break them.
I can't watch it pre-recorded. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't watch it pre-recorded. I'll
break Dusty's videos up into little portions, and then I'll go watch somebody else for a while, and then I'll come back, and because he's got killer information.
He
if you
does.
just listen. So I learned so much from people like that. I learn a lot from you and Scott, and even Deldon. Deldon's got a lot to offer once he gets his footing. He's got a ton to offer. So I love watching people that have something to offer, instead of just blabbing all the time like me.
See my death pile behind me? It's just growing and growing and growing. It's horrible.
It's like your wife is slowly closing you in, so you can't get out.
It's just like falling over. That big box here, that host that says host on it, right there. That's all going out. That's that lot of clothes that sold last night for $250 on the auction.
Nice.
I've been putting it in cellophane bags today, individually wrapping each individual piece of clothing in bags so that it will be nice when it gets to the person.
Oh, by the way, you weren't on Deldon's show when I was last night. I don't know if you came in later, but check it out.
Oh, that's cool. That's the big one, though.
This is 21 inches, and it's got a different. Yours didn't have the base, I don't think. That
was my friend Jerry. I sold a couple items for him. He wasn't too happy with what he got off his stuff, but I wish he would have, that it was nice stuff, but it was, I don't know. He had better stuff. He had a lot of stuff he could have given me, but I don't know.
Was now you mentioned an artist that made that one. This one's not marked. Was that one marked?
It was marked on the bottom.
Yeah, this one's not. So
this here is by.
I don't know if it matters.
Jack Houseman, made in Korea.
So mine must just have lost a sticker over the years or something.
Probably, or somebody.
It looks identical.
Yeah, I'm sure they are.
I mean, as far as the Gazelle itself, looks just like that. They made bookends. They made a lot of stuff like that. And I guess it's considered Hollywood Regency or something. So
yeah.
When I list it, that's what I'll put. I have to get finished cleaning it. It had a patina on it, and it wasn't the good kind. So
yeah,
I need to finish cleaning it, and it was a lot of work to get it as far as it is. But
that's what that would need, some Brasso or something on it. But I don't know how to clean it without leaving spots.
Well, stupidly, I went in the kitchen and got one of those little green scrubbers, and that was not a good idea because it started scratching it a little bit. So I'll have to get some very fine sandpaper and clean it back up. But it is what it is. But I paid $7 for it. It's not like there's a big investment in it. It's got to be worth that in brass weight, because that thing weighs a ton. It's hollow on the inside. Is yours hollow?
I don't know. It might not be. It's pretty heavy. I don't know. It reverberates like it is, but
yeah,
the bottom is hard. But it could be just the antenna. I don't know.
But it's crazy that we both have one.
Yeah,
same exact.
Yeah, they're worth quite a bit. Yours is worth a ton. I think that yours was. That's yours. Yours is worth the most because it was big. But I sold my big old pig head here, and that was just cool. It brought I think $45 or something. I was happy with it.
Yeah. That pig is cool.
Yeah, the thing is awesome. It looked good hanging in a restaurant or something.
Your Energizer bunny back there looks like he's about dead.
Yeah, he's got some issues. He's tired. He's a little tired. He was. I think I paid $5 for him. He's worth quite a bit actually. He's a real big one. I seen another one at the flea market today.
He looks hungover.
Yeah, I think that's what he is. He'll be out of frame pretty soon. My wife hates it when I put things on top of my printer. So, and then my table back there is a mess right now. I've got to get that all cleaned out. I've been working on because this room is probably 10 by 13. It's not very big. And so I've got to get it all straightened out. And then the inventory has to go somewhere else.
John and I laughed at you when you said that's a mess.
What?
I said we laugh at him when he calls that little bitty room, that little bit there, a mess.
Yeah, right. My whole house. You see this pile behind me here? I've got 5 feet over there, dude. It's just as big. I mean, I should be listing right now. I have enough stuff to list probably another 400 items on eBay here in this house. And my wife needs to package stuff. She don't want to come over here because she packages right behind me. And she said, I don't want to package. People see me. They look at me. I guess they're going to have to look at you, sister.
Yeah, my wife
have to look at you.
My wife doesn't want to be on camera either. That's why you've never seen her. But she's just not. And my son, he's made a quick short appearance, but he doesn't like it. So
I love that Sasquatch hand you got back there with the cup.
Yeah, I got that from a local convenience store.
I sold one on eBay.
Yeah, they knew that I was a Bigfoot researcher, so they saved it for
funny.
me. I'm not anymore. I don't do that now, but I was for a long time.
I would love to get a plane ticket and fly out to California and wait for Steve and Steph to go into the woods doing their Bigfoot thing and actually have like a Bigfoot costume and just come out.
Steve don't carry a gun, does he?
I don't know. I
don't think so.
Not in the state of California. That's probably grounds for.
So has he come out and said what he put all over his face that night? Was it pudding or something?
It had to be pudding. If not, Bigfoot was having some. What do they call it when you have chronic diarrhea? Because that was pretty runny stuff.
Yeah.
I'll tell you,
they're nuts.
It's fun to be fun about Bigfoot and stuff, but don't get into that community. Whatever you do, please do not get into Facebook groups that talk about that. You will go nuts. Those people are crazy. And I was one of them. I wasn't crazy kind. I'm more of a skeptic, and that was my shtick in the whole Bigfoot community. But
I would find it to be hard to be a 7-foot gorilla ape-like creature that exists in the United States and that you've never been found. I mean,
there's very little evidence that I find convincing at all. And so 99.9% of what you see online is BS, of course. And the same with ghosts and everything, all that stuff. So yeah, I've seen weird. I found one day what was it? I can't remember how long it was now. I actually found a track. Was it Bigfoot? I don't know. Or some guy with a big shoe. I don't know. Because it was to where it was. The substrate wasn't that good, and it was hard to tell. But I mean, there's evidence, but it's all circumstantial, you know.
But you go out to the Great Northwest, and you quickly realize that we don't occupy as much of the land as we think we do.
I've talked to the guy. His name is Bob Gimlin. He was there the day that that really famous film from the '60s was filmed. I've talked to him personally, and I believe him. I believe he believes he saw that day, but even then, you can't prove anything. So he's a good guy, though. Really cool guy.
I think that people believe what they want to believe, and they see something happen. Because even with the stuff, I'm a pretty devout Christian, but I'm still skeptical when someone tells me about a miracle or when someone tells me that, because I understand that I've experienced stuff before, and that even in my own mind, I want to play it up to where it's a bigger deal than what it is, so that it lends a little bit more credence to it. I mean, I have hundreds of little strange stories that you're like, that's kind of weird, but it could be nothing. Or you could really blow it out of proportion and be like, oh my God, I seen the face of God or something crazy. And I think that in any community that you have those people that they want it to be true, so they're just going to work hard to try to make it true.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing.
And even with my own faith, I'm skeptical, but I have faith. Lord, I believe, but help me in my disbelief. But
I grew up.
I'm skeptical.
I grew up in the Assemblies of God Church, and I went to church for years. And I've seen things that make me want to believe, and I've seen things that don't make me not want to. So
yeah, you're like, that's fake. Sister Ruth, quit speaking in gibberish because you're the one that always does it.
We had one woman in our church who every Sunday that was her thing. And it just got to be, You know, the first few times it's okay. Maybe God is speaking through her. And then the 20th time you're like, why would God pick her? That kind of thing. Because her real life outside of church wasn't as good as it was, and you know, that kind of thing. And that's but it's
and then when you start looking at it like that, well, she found a way to make herself be relevant, and people are like, whoa, God's speaking through her. So then people make stuff up because they like the prestige that comes with it.
No, watch
it's
me.
Not unlike a lot of the reseller community. I just make stuff up, and people are like, hey.
I was going to bring it right back to reselling with that, because I had a guy that I used to go to church with, and his first name was John. I won't give his last name. He stopped at my
Johnson.
Yeah, Johnson. It was John Johnson.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go any further. I'll save that for a private discussion.
Yeah.
But
anyway, it is reseller related, but it's probably too. No, I won't go there.
Our brains are set up to fill in information that's missing, and so, you know, if you're predispositioned to believe something, or if you something that you've seen or heard, your brain paints a picture that you think you can understand. So you know, there's a show called Brain Games on TV. Forget what channel it's on, but they do a lot of stuff. Like the one that really got me, because they were talking about why there's so many motorcycle accidents where cars pull out in front of a motorcycle, and the first thing the person says is, "I never saw him." It's because when you pull up to a stop sign and look both ways, you're telling yourself, are there any cars coming? You're not looking for motorcycles, and your brain is subconsciously not looking for motorcycles. So they did this test where they had all these actors on stage, and they had two circles, an A and a B. And your job was, watching the show, was to count how many times they went in and out of circle B. And so I'm sitting here, I'm going along, I'm counting, and I get to 25 times that they went in and out of circle B. And the host comes on and goes, "How many times? Who got over 20?" And I'm sitting here thinking, "Man, I'm 25." And he said, "If you got to 25, you're doing really well." His next question was, "But did you see the big dancing bear?" I'm like, "Nope." They played it again, and this bear in a pink costume comes out from the side stage, comes up, waves, walks all around, and goes back off stage. And I was concentrating so much on how many times they went in and out of circle B, never saw the bear.
Yep.
Wow.
And it just shows you the way your brain works, and they do all kinds of stuff like that, you know. But you know, the color, is it blue, is it brown, or whatever. Your brain interprets things based on your experience, and it's
places. I mean, people like McDonald's capitalizes on that. They want you to come in their restaurant, buy your food, eat it quick, and get out. So that's why when you go into a McDonald's restaurant, you got yellows and oranges and things like that, because that makes you move faster. If you have nice, warm, cool colors, you stay longer. So restaurants like sit-down restaurants want you to stay longer. So it's darker in there and it's more peaceful. But restaurants like McDonald's is bright and colorful because they want you to get out.
And they've even done research on people. They've even done research on the type of seats, and you know that they're only designed to be comfortable for a certain amount of time to make you want to get up. I mean, they've spent a lot of money in optimal time in a restaurant for their type of restaurant.
And as resellers, we do the same thing. We like that TI-84 Plus. I'll price it at the higher end because it's a perceived value. You know, I price a lot of my things at the higher end because if I price it lower, it doesn't sell. And it's because people are looking at it. Okay, why is it only $30 when it should be 60? You know, that kind of thing. So we do the same thing when we're reselling. If you buy into that, and I do, because I notice I've sold every TI-84 I've sold, I priced at the highest I could, and they sell almost instantly. But if I price them a little bit lower, they take a while to sell.
Sell that guy a cap. Is he talking about the glare on my big head?
I'm guessing.
Don't worry. I'll put on my Bigfoot hat.
Paul.
I could tell you stories about people in the Bigfoot community, but I will not on this show today. Hey, what's up, Grandma Wrinkles? I love that. And she's got the best username on YouTube. Grandma Wrinkles.
in my desktop, I've probably got 40 gigs of video that I need to edit. I'll just never get to it. Lost stuff. Maybe one day when we hit something and we're all famous, that they'll go back and I can sell it to like the Inquirer or something.
Speaking of famous, have you hit the 1,000 yet? I know you were getting there last night. You got quite
No, I'm at like 821 or 822 or something like that. I don't even care. I'm going to hit 1,000 before I hit my hours. I'm only at a little over 3,000 hours, so I don't do a lot of live streams. And when I do, I don't have the Delden effect where I get like 30 people in there watching me.
Delden, you gotta look at what time you do them, though. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I know.
A lot of
okay. I got the live stream on YouTube underneath the Hangout link so I can see what's going on. And John's mouth is moving. I'm thinking, wait a second, John's not talking.
That happens a lot.
It's funny. But no, yeah. Somebody wants me to tell stories. I'll just tell you, go on YouTube and look up Team Squatch in USA and listen to this guy called Matthew Johnson for a little while, just for 5 minutes. And then you'll understand what I'm talking about with the Bigfoot community. That guy's nuts. And he knows, I mean, I've said it many times, and he actually unfriended me on Facebook because I spoke out about him.
I'm just sad that they finally find that Bigfoot's over now. I can't see Bobo anymore.
I've spoke to Bobo for about 30 seconds one time.
He's not the brightest apple. I understand that.
No, Bobo's actually really smart. He's a super smart guy. Yeah. Fame may have gone to his head a little bit, but he's a super smart guy. The one you want to talk to if you ever get a chance to, and you could probably just message him on Facebook and he will, is Cliff. Yeah, Cliff is a super cool guy. And he's out of the people on that show, Cliff is the one, if I ever had any questions or I wanted to talk to somebody about something, I'd go to him. I've interviewed him twice. And after the interview was over, both times, he just stayed around for hours just talking to us. Super cool guy. The rest of them, but Cliff is awesome.
Bobo's just entertainment.
Yeah.
One of my favorite ones that they're talking about, one of the witnesses was how many steps a Squatch took on the road when he ran across the road. And Bobo was started in the woods on one side of was trying to make like one leap across the road or whatever, and ends up rolling in the ditch on the other side. I mean, it's just the sheer wackiness of.
Yeah,
I would love to.
Go ahead.
I would love to do a. I used to be a part of a paranormal research group up in Farmington or St. Francis County, right up the road from me. And I went to a couple of their meetings and stuff, and it was really cool. And I would love to, I think it'd be cool to do something like that again. There's a house up there that no one stays in for more than 90 days. They leave because the house is supposedly really haunted with a lot of poltergeist activity. I'd love to, yeah.
Well, John is blurry because his internet sucks. Scott, I don't know. Blackberry Thistletea wanted to know why everybody was blurry but me. First of all, because I'm the star of the show.
That's right.
It's my channel.
Yeah, my internet's running fine. I don't know why it'd be blurry.
I'm the talent.
I don't think
that's why I like.
I don't think this camera streams in HD. I think that's the problem. It's a 920. I think it only streams in 720.
Mine's 720.
But even.
Go ahead, John.
It's probably OBS really helps. Even if you don't have all the stuff set up, it still really helps by being able to set your bit rate up, your constant bit rate and your buffer size. On Twitch, if you stream on Twitch, they won't stream anything over 3,500 on their buffer. So you can set it at 3,500 on Facebook or YouTube, and you should be doing fine.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go on that OBS and check that out because I love the way you can do the frames, and not that I would do all that stuff, but I do like the features that OBS has as far as you can do the screen share and still be on camera. You know, that's the feature I want, because I find that, you know, being on YouTube for 6 years now, that when I did videos that were just screen shares like on a Google Hangout, people didn't really respond as well. But if they can see you the whole time, it's a whole different dynamic for them. You know, they can actually see you, even if it's a little square at the bottom. So Steve wanted to come in and test out his video camera and new microphone. What's up?
Well, then come on.
He is. You are live.
I am.
Yeah. And you sound good.
It works.
Yeah. No echo, no nothing.
That ugly faces.
What's up, man?
Thanks. That's it. I just want to see.
Oh, feel free to hang around for a little bit. Do it a drive-by.
Yeah.
There is some, like I can hear like some noise. Some noise.
I'm gone.
All right.
Yeah, there's echo. There's echo on my end. So
there's no echo here, but what I hear is like some, you know, the microphone sounds like it's moving or something, or it's too close to your face or something.
Yeah,
breathing into it.
Yeah, it could be that.
Lift the microphone like a little bit up above your nose.
Yeah, it sounds like there's like wind on the mic, so it might be just a little too close to your. That's better.
You know what it is?
A little.
I got this portable air conditioner right next to it.
Oh, there it goes. It went away.
Yeah.
I have to be careful. I put a fan on me all the time, and yeah.
I use a Yeti, Blue Yeti microphone, and that thing is, that thing is awesome. And I'm going to send Deldon my old Blue Snowball so he has a real mic. But even the Blue Snowballs are great mic. Did he leave already? He just did a drive-by. That's GV's buddy, right? Global Voodoo's buddy, Steve.
I made up with him in chat the other night. Told him I was
for you.
Told him I was sorry. I don't need no heat on me, and I ain't gonna have nobody. If you don't like me for a reason, that's a good reason, then that's okay. You don't like me, but I want you to not like me for a bad reason.
Well, you want to be disliked for a real reason and not a misunderstanding.
Yeah, right.
So you want to earn your dislike.
Exactly.
Well, I get it. I get where Mike's coming from. You know, he's been out there for a long time doing these videos, and a lot of people have blatantly copied what he does, and I get it. I wouldn't get angry about it. I'd be flattered by it, but he's not, you know, and that's fine because that's where he's coming from. But it's good. It's all good, right?
Right.
And you guys worked it out like men, and that was great. I wouldn't have known either. I wouldn't have known that he had a show called that because I've only been watching YouTube resellers for about 1.5 years now. And I'm sure that his show was on prior to that. And I wouldn't have known that he had a show called whatever it was, Reseller Roundtable or whatever.
Right. It would. And
I'm not, he's doing the same content. Yeah. I was just reading Steve's comment in chat. I enjoy watching his videos actually. Even when they're the rant video. I enjoy the difference in resellers. So I'll watch everybody. even the guys I don't care for, I'll watch. Not saying I don't care for Mike. I actually enjoy watching his videos. But
that's what someone told me. I had said something about some of the people that I don't watch in a private. It was just me and Shane from Rise and Grind. I said, I don't really watch them. I don't really think I can get much from them. And I said that I just didn't like their persona. And he goes, I watch them. He goes, I watch everything that everyone does. He says, I see what's successful. And he says that, then I tried to come up with an idea based on what they're doing. And I'm like, yeah, that's not a bad idea. Put your own spin on it. Don't do it word for word,
right.
But come up with a really good idea or borrow an idea. That's just what happens. Heck, look at movies today. All of the successful box office movies there's nothing that it's like, wow, that's an original idea. No one's ever did that before. And it made a bunch of money. It's sequels and movies based on comic books. I don't know what they're going to do when they run out of stuff.
Well, it's I was talking to my wife the other day about the horror movies she watches because she likes horror movies. I'm like, okay, they're going to go up the stairs instead of out the front door. Every single movie does this. It's the same concept. It's the same. It's just because there's nothing new under the sun. Every story's been told. It's just told in a different way now. Every movie is different. Slightly. But I'll watch people who I really kind of disagree with on most things. Hey, he's Bach. I'm Beethoven.
Bach.
Rod is Bach.
Amadeus. Rod, it win by doing. Me and Rod, I love Rod to death, but there's some things that we've disagreed on. He's extremely pro eBay, and I'm not anti eBay, but I'm a realist when it comes to eBay. And I know Rod thinks he's a realist too, but I'm definitely, I'm a cheerleader. I have friends that work for eBay. I have people that I talk to that work at eBay, but I understand that there's a lot of good they do for me, and I love them dearly, and I love the company. But if my family member is doing something that's harmful to themselves, I'm going to be like, that's harmful. Yeah. I don't care why you're doing it. That's just harmful. And I'm one of the people that think that with the latest, that people say, well, you need to take care of your buyers because without buyers, there wouldn't have no need for sellers. But my philosophy is that I've been on eBay for 20 years, and I've watched eBay consistently ostracize the seller over and over and over again. And there was a period about 5 years ago that I called it the dark ages of eBay, that they had, what do they call that? The Spanish Inquisition, that they were cutting people for anything. You walked on eggshells every day you woke up and your account was still valid. You were just like, thank you, Lord. And, but what they did, and I even expressed this opinion to one of the people that I know that worked for eBay. And I said, you know what you did is you created enough of a push that it opened up the marketplace for somebody to come in and to compete with you. And people go, well, no one will ever compete with eBay. Well, I don't agree, because nobody was ever going to compete with Sears. Nobody was ever going to compete with Kmart. And along came Walmart, and nobody was ever going to compete with Walmart. Oh, but wait, there's Amazon now. So to tell me that nobody's ever going to compete with eBay, you're making the same mistake that everyone else has made, saying that there's never going to be nobody that comes into the marketplace. I've consistently said that it would be I would love for a group of YouTubers to get together, big YouTubers, and go together and create a marketplace and use their YouTube content and the hundreds of thousands of sellers that they have to push a YouTube-based marketplace, not a YouTube-based marketplace, but that community push a marketplace and create something that I think that would be more like the old eBay. And I think it would be successful. I really do.
See, I come down closer to Rod's side. In fact, most everything that Rod says, I would agree with. So I'm probably more of an eBay cheerleader than.
But I have to ask: what is it that you like? The stuff that I just said, like, what is it? The premise? Because I'm always open to like changing my mind on stuff. But what is it that I Is it just you don't agree, or do you what's your thought on it? What do you think?
Well,
about
every marketplace is going to go through changes, and I agree that eBay did go through a dark ages period. I wasn't selling during that time because I was scared to. I was scared that things were going to not work out for me because it was all over the place. But I try to keep a positive mental attitude towards everything too. I want my business to grow, and I want everything to go, well. So when eBay puts out a change, I see how it will work for me instead of work against me. Like the free returns, I do it. I do 60-day free returns, and I know Rod does as well. And I'll tell you, my returns have not. In fact, I think they've gone down, to be honest.
Well, I don't really have a problem doing returns on the stuff that I offer. The people that I see really throwing up a big red flag about that is the clothing sellers. I don't see like the guy
I agree.
selling glassware or whatever. It's like, oh my God, because when if you're looking for this and you find this, you're going to buy it and you're going to keep it. But clothing, there's so many variables. It don't fit. It buttons funny. It fits funny. The sleeves are too short. Oh my gosh, I just stay away from it. That's why
I was a clothing seller primarily, I wouldn't be on eBay at all. I'd be over at Poshmark or something like that, because that's what they cater to, and that's what those platforms are for. I do sell some clothing, but it's all vintage stuff, and I rarely get a return on that. And when I do, it's usually because somebody didn't read the description, but it costs me so little to send it. At most it cost me $6.90 for a padded flat rate. For most every clothing item I've ever sold will at least fit in that or go first class. So it's not a big hit because I'm making, I'm not selling $10 t-shirts. I'm selling vintage Tommy Hilfiger stuff for 140 or something like that, that kind of thing. So for me, that return isn't a big deal. And Scott said it, and I know other people have said it. You're not really out $140 plus shipping. You're out whatever you spend on the thing plus shipping. So it's not like you have to worry too much about. You're not losing anything. You're losing whatever you paid for it, which is in my case usually under $5 plus whatever the shipping was. That's it. And if you don't look at it that way, then you're going to have a hard life. You're going to have a hard time selling.
So the problem is too is we see a lot of YouTubers of these small clothing sellers and that kind of stuff. The vast majority of items sold on eBay is new, and I think we have a skewed perception of what is truly selling on eBay.
Yeah.
We hear all people go, they're trying to get rid of us. They are actually trying to make the platform better for customers and for sellers. The vast majority of sellers just don't happen to be sellers like we are. And
most of the changes are directed at the new stuff. Yeah.
I could tell you another thing though. The free returns policy, if you use it, all it really does is make your buyer more honest, because I have not gotten a single INAD since I did that. I've never had an INAD, but so now if it doesn't fit, they're going to tell me it doesn't fit because I already offer the free return. You're making your buyer more honest. That's all you're doing. And if you already offer free shipping one way, you're technically taking a free return anyway if eBay forces you to, because you're offering free shipping and you can't charge the buyer to ship it back, that kind of thing. So you're already offering it if you look at it that way, And so that's the free return policy. There's policies that I don't really care for. And I'm not going to lie to you. Sometimes the free return thing does scare me if I'm selling something heavy or something, but I've never really had an issue with it. And
on heavy stuff, I just wouldn't offer. You don't have to offer it on everything.
No, you don't.
I would just wouldn't.
This expired Polaroid film that I got the other day, I have no returns on that because it's expired Polaroid film from 1999. It's probably not going to work, and so that sort of thing I'd put free, no returns on, but that's it. And then you can also, eBay's made it so you can have a different policy for your foreign buyers, so overseas buyers, you can have no free returns on that too. Buyer pays return on that. So I've never gotten a
Send in my
return
invoices.
on yeah. I've never gotten a return on an overseas item yet.
BlackBerry said that Etsy's going through some changes right now. What kind of changes is that, BlackBerry? Could you just elaborate?
I think they're pretty similar.
Their fees are going from like 3.5 to 5.5 or 5.25.
Yeah. And it's the cost of, I mean, returns are the cost of doing business, but also increased fees and all that. I mean, it happens. It happens in every industry. It's not just eBay. And I think as sellers, we have to understand, if we want this to be a business, we got to think of it that way. And if we're not thinking of it that way, if everything starts to get us angry and mad all the time because, okay, my buyer's lying to me, they want to return this, they're probably a scammer. Well, I've had one scammer in all the years I've been on eBay, and that was way back in the 90s. And he just, before you put tracking on things, and he claimed he never got it, that kind of thing. That was the only one I ever had.
People just use that word a lot, scammer. Mm-hmm. It's just, it's generic.
Like, oh, they're going to switch it out on me. Well, it happens. Yeah, it happens. But it's so rare. It's so rare. How many times have you had something switched out on you, John? In 20 years?
I don't, never had anything switched out. Yeah. That I can think of. Can you think of anything, Megan? No.
It's happened to me on Amazon, but not on eBay.
Amazon's a lot easier to do that stuff on because you're disconnected from the seller.
So I just read a little bit about Etsy. Their fees are going from on July 16th from 3.5 to 5%, and it's not only on the sale price anymore. They're going to charge fees on the shipping as well, like eBay does.
Now that damn Etsy trying to be like eBay.
They gave an example of someone who was selling a $150 item with $25 shipping. Under the old fees, it was like $5.25 to sell it, and it ends up being almost $9 under the new system, which is a 64% increase. But the thing that's screaming out to me is you're still under 10% to sell an item.
Well, yeah, and you got to imagine shipping goes up every single year. Every year, shipping's going to go up, and every year people complain about it. It's not going to change anything. Just adjust your pricing and move on. I mean, and the other thing was Etsy charging on the shipping now. It's because people were doing the same thing they were doing on eBay. They were avoiding fees, and that's why eBay changed that rule. And that's why they changed the feedback rules, because people were abusing that system. They were when eBay originally started, and I'm sure John remembers, you could leave feedback without a purchase. You could just negative everybody all day long if you wanted to. You could do that. And they had to change it from that to buyer and seller could leave negative feedback. And now they changed it because sellers, and some sellers still will leave a positive negative and wonder why their account gets, suspended for 7 days. You can't do that. It's against policy. Somebody was doing it the other day. In I think it was in the Reseller Society. Somebody had posted that they sold this item and the buyer threatened them with negative feedback and all this stuff. And this person had left a positive negative, and then their account got shut down for 7 days because of it. And this person was upset about that. Well, it's right there in black and white. Don't do that. You can't leave a positive negative. And that's because people have that, oh, this person's out to scam me mentality and would leave negatives all the time. The sellers would. And it's a bad thing for a seller. I wouldn't leave a negative on my seller account ever. I wouldn't do it because it makes me look bad. On my buyer account, if I had to, I would. I've never left a negative on eBay, except maybe back in the 90s when I was first selling. But I've never done it on this account, ever. I would rather message the person and say, hey, there was a problem with I have very few problems buying things on eBay when I do. We got the Swamp Picker, Glenn.
Hey guys.
What's up, man?
Not much. How y'all doing?
Pretty good. Having a good Father's Day there?
So far, yeah.
I have 3 children. One of them wished me a happy Father's Day today.
Yeah. One single, but mom and dad live right down the road, so I went and had dinner with my dad.
Yeah, my son lives at home. I hadn't even seen him yet today.
Yeah, same with my boy was staying at his buddy's house overnight, and he I was at the flea market, and he calls me. He said, "Dad, can you come pick me up?" And I said, "Well, it's going to be about an hour before I get done here." And he's like, "Okay." And he gets in the car. He says, "Happy Father's Day." I got him home, and I haven't seen him since. It is what it is. Yeah. Steve in the chat says, "Adjust or die." When you're selling on eBay or any online platform, Amazon's changed a lot in the last couple of years. If you don't adjust to the changes, you're not going to survive selling. And so that's why I have a positive outlook, because if I don't, and all these changes bother me,
no, I don't know who they are.
I would have done a long time ago.
Oh, well, what's wrong?
Well, I've got some family that just showed up, so I'm gonna pop out real quick.
Hey, John, thanks for coming on.
See you, man.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah.
So, Glenn, do you do the free returns and all that?
Oh, I'm not signing up for it, you know.
Well, I don't know if there's anything is there anything you actually sign up? I just changed all my policies, my business policies, to seller pays shipping in 60 days.
Let me see. I'm having a problem with chat. I'm thinking I'm in a different room. Let me start over. I'll come back. Give me a moment.
Yeah, there's nothing to sign up for. You're exactly right. You just change your policies to free shipping and change the returns to free returns.
I noticed that most of the people who were scared by it, like John said, are clothing sellers, first of all. And I would be too if I was a clothing seller. If I was, especially women's clothing, because the highest return rate I ever had was on women's clothing. So that's why I quit selling it. First of all, I know nothing about it. Nothing. My wife wants to get into that. And I said, good, have at. I'm just on your own eBay account. I don't want it. And there's nothing wrong with that.
I sell a lot of electronics and used electronics, and those I would have a little bit of a question about free returns, just because the one thing that I've been selling from that big electronics lot is a 2-door starter kit for the electronic controls, and I've already had one guy who bought one of them who installed it wrong and burnt the circuit boards up, and was trying to ask me about it. I'm like, man, you need to contact the manufacturer. You've installed that wrong. That's not my deal. But if I had free returns, eBay would have made me take that back.
Right.
There's some.
But even then, as long as they send you the right item back, the same item, you can turn around and resell it.
Not if they installed it wrong and burnt the circuit boards up. You can't.
Well, yeah. If they did that, you're right. I think that if I was selling a lot of that kind of electronics, I would probably not have free returns on it.
Yeah, that was a $550 sale that he screwed up.
Like this DVD recorder I picked up today. I might have an issue offering free returns on something like that, because electronics and women's clothing tend to be really high return rate items.
Is that the one thing I don't mind? I'm probably going to switch over to free returns sometime shortly, but I'm not going to do the automatic. I still want to make a decision.
Oh yeah, I still make the decision
because I want to be able to say, hey, just keep it. I'm going to give you a refund. I don't want to have to be forced to take something back that I didn't want it back to begin with.
I think even maybe I'll like Rod says, he's only doing 30-day free returns. I might switch to that, see how it goes. But even on the 60, I don't get anything back. I have one return. The guy bought the wrong thing. It was one of those Bose pieces, and that's the first return I've had actually come back, because they sent. I noticed that they used the shipping label. So the last return I had was also an electronic item, and they never sent it back. And then eBay closed it automatically after so many days. So most people, I've noticed a lot of the returns you get, they don't ever send it back. They just want to know that they can, And if you have good customer service skills, and a lot of the times people will message me prior to sending something back and saying, hey, this didn't work, because of the free return, because I have the free returns turned on. They don't feel like they were forced to make something up to return it for free, So it's a buyer confidence thing is all it is. And like you said, the longer you extend that period, the less likely they are to ever send it back. And I've noticed that since I turned that on.
That's not me saying that. That's
well, it's true.
Studies on returns, and that's the psyche. The the longer you have something, especially after it clears 21 days, habits are formed, and the chance of it coming back greatly diminish.
But I think the thing that we have to understand, we have a certain way of doing business. Other people's have another way of doing business. You got to use what fits for you, and if free returns don't fit for you, don't use it. I mean, eBay's not forcing you to do anything.
Yeah, we're talking about 3% of your sales or returns, and you're not forced to do it, but everybody is in such up and on. I don't understand why this bothers some people. Make a decision. You either want to do it or not. eBay is not punishing you for not doing it. I don't see it as a great bump in search for free returns. So,
Scott, isn't it already there about returns and all that? It's more like a smoke and mirrors deal, I think. The law is already there, kind of, but it's like they're making it sound pleasing to the customers, I guess. Yeah. Whenever it's already there, why you need to make a new law when it's already there? I guess that's what I'm going to say. Type deal. It's already on the,
I think it just makes the customer feel better. That's it.
It's a feel-good deal when it's already there, but it's making us feel like putting more pressure on us.
But it's the same pressure you already had, if you think about it. eBay's going to force that return as long as the buyer claims INAD. So in a way, all you're doing is, okay, I won't get any more INADs. I'll just accept a return. You're doing the same thing. Now, on occasion, if you have no returns and a buyer messages say, hey, I want to return this, and you say, well, I have no returns, then they'll just go away. But generally what they're going to do is go back to eBay and file an INAD anyway. So, I mean, it's just a buyer confidence thing. And I've noticed, like I said, my returns have not increased. In fact, I think they've decreased. So now I know some people whose returns have increased, but go look at their auction or their listings and you'll see why most of the time.
Maybe they don't put the size. If it's clothing, they don't put sizes. Good picture, description.
It's generally something you've done that you could have done better. So I sold a jersey a few months ago. It was probably 6 months ago now, a football jersey or a hockey jersey it was. And I didn't put any sizing in the listing because I got lazy. And guess what? It got sent back because it didn't fit. So I resold it with the sizes in there and, the measurements in there, and it didn't come back because it fit. So a lot of times when people are complaining about these returns, and somebody in one of the groups said the other day, I had 6 returns this week. 6 returns, and they're not like not a big time seller like Scott is, or they're just, well, if you got 6 returns in a week and you're a small time seller like me, you're doing something wrong.
Well, some of that too is just luck of the draw. I mean, I don't believe people are out to get you, but I do believe that you look at my returns, and if it's not damaged and shipping, chances are I've done something wrong. I mean, I've listed something wrong. I've done something. It's not always the customer's fault, and a lot of people don't want to accept that. They don't think, that they've done anything.
I'm perfect. I do everything right. Well, one time I sent a pair of skates, roller skates, like speed skates, whatever. I'm guessing, kind of like the rope, like a tennis shoe with a skate on it, down to Florida. And I took 12 pictures, and he sent me an email back. It was, I put in size 10. That's what it had on the box and all that. And soon he said, hey, these are size 8s. I'm going in my mind, all the pictures I took. I said, I did not take a picture of the tag.
Yep.
Even myself, I'm thinking, I did not. I said, hey, can you send me a picture, please? Saw the picture, and I said, hey, I'll give you a refund. I said, just keep them.
Yep.
I mean, I had so little in the skates, it would have been not worth it for them to send it back. I only paid like $5 for them. And I charged them maybe 25 for it. And I'm figuring if even if I get it back, this and that, it'd be worth it just to keep it. Now, if it would have been $100 pair of skates, I said, yeah, please send them back, because that same day I bought a pair of $100 skates. It was a pair of 8s and a pair of 10 speed skates, and those actually went to Czechoslovakia. I saw those for like $170, $150. Well, that's another
thing that people don't get. they think, and that goes back to, they think they're out the $100 whatever dollars. They're not. They're out.
Right.
You said you spent $5 on the skates
Oh,
plus
something like-
whatever
yeah.
it costs to ship. That's what you're out.
Uh,
Is it worth getting those back? You know, and
No.
so you got, that's why I want to, like Scott does, want to approve every return,
Right.
because I want to know, okay, do I just want to refund these people? I paid $2 for this pack of Polaroid film, or $1 for
Right.
this packet. Do I want that back? No, I don't want it back. Here, have your money. It's easier.
And he
Yeah,
still
like-
gave me a good rating back, you know. He knew I made a
Yeah.
mistake, you know, because, you know, he kind of like laughed at it, kind of like, you know, yeah, I can see the mistake you made, you know, by not
Yeah.
putting the tag in the picture, you know.
Yeah, but you got to make a business decision. You got $5 in it. You spent say $15 to ship it. If you spend another 15 back, you got to pay for shipping 3 times when you sell it
Right.
the second time.
Right.
Can you make any money on it? If you can't make any money on it, you're much better off cutting your losses instead of
Right,
spending
just
more.
like keep it, you know.
Yeah.
And I've done it before on a pair of shorts. I sent a pair of, like an old pair of cargo shorts, sent them out. The guy got, the day he got them, I guess he tried them on and said, hey, these don't fit. You know, I don't know if I put it, you know, like an actual measurement, but I put the measurement with the tag and all that. You know, it could like maybe a ½ inch difference. And the second, second listing, when I got them back, I did that. I got the tape measure and say, hey, it says 33 on the tag, but it measures like 32 and a half. Sent them out the second time, and the guy loved them, you know.
I've had one vintage Lee jacket come back several times. I even had that one. I did have the measurements in the description, but because it said large on it and it fit more like a small, because it's vintage and old, you know.
You know,
It came back a couple times, and I had to make a decision. Do I want to resell this thing again, or do I just want to sell it at my yard sale, or do I want to redonate? Well, I ended up redonating it, you know, because after a while you get too many returns on something. And I just saw the same exact jacket at another Goodwill, and I passed it up because of that. Because now I know it was a cheap education, really. Now I know that people that are looking for that particular item are only going to look at the size tag and order it because it's some cool hipster jacket or something. And so I didn't buy the next one, you know. I passed it up. And it wasn't a high value anyway. It was a $30 jacket. So by the time I shipped it out, which was $6.90, got it back, which was the first time it came back, it was buyer paid return because it didn't fit. That was before I had turned the free returns on. The second time it came back, I had to pay a return because I did have the free returns on. That was my very first return on the free returns. And I've only had 2. So I had to pay it. Now, if I have to keep paying the shipping and return on that, well, do I try to resell it again, or do I just cut my losses on that? It's a cheap education when you cut your losses sometimes, you know. And that's what I did. I just ended up redonating because nobody at the yard sale wanted it. So that's probably why I was at the Goodwill in the first place. It didn't fit somebody. Pull the chat back up here. I think I'll let this go for another 8 minutes.
okay.
And then I got to get the listing. Did you see that camera I picked up today, Glenn?
Oh, no,
What's that?
I didn't see it.
Let me walk
Oh,
over.
man.
This is an Ashika N8000. If you see one of those, pick it up. This thing should sell for $200 to $300.
Wow.
This is my
It's
You know, looking at the box, it almost looks cheesy, kind of, you know.
it is,
You know, like
but
cheap
there's a
looking,
cult
you know?
following. There's a cult following for it.
Okay.
It takes 3D pictures. So what it
Okay.
does is instead of one picture of frame, it takes 2 pictures of frame, and it has 4 lenses on it.
Right.
And you see those animated GIFs on Facebook and, you know, all over the internet. Well, people take pictures and use that to make the animated GIFs. That's why that 2 years ago, that thing sold for $20
Right.
because people didn't know about it. Once some YouTubers started talking about it, and this is how you use it,
Right.
now the value is like $300. But it's made in Hong Kong.
Right.
It's got some weight to it, but it's all plastic and stuff. But it is a really, really cool camera, and Vincent Price did the video for it back when it came out in 1989. So the video's on YouTube, and I watched it. It was pretty cool. He did his little scary voice and stuff. It was great. But it came with It came with the carrying. It's all brand new, sealed in the box. It was never used. I got it for $10 at the flea market today. So yeah, if you ever see one of those, pick it up. Even used, they go for really good money.
Yeah, they're over 100 used.
Yeah. Even untested, they still go for good money. So,
Well,
and
nice
it was funny because all the YouTube videos I was watching on it today to see how it works, they were saying, well, we picked this up for $20 on eBay. So that's how I know that a couple, because the videos were from like 2016. And so back then, even 2 years ago, they didn't have any resale value really until people understood what they could use them for and how it benefited them. And now people, it has a cult following. So now people want them, and now they're hard to find. There's only 6 or 7 listed on eBay right now, new. So.
Well, it's nice to see you left the door closed so we can see your legs in the mirror.
Well, it's just because my son's home, and if nobody's here, I'll leave the doors open. But there's a story as to why that mirror is there. I'd rather not talk about it on the air, but sometime I'll tell you. But
the mystery of the mirror.
Well, yeah. Blackberry Thistletea asked me if I knew about the camera before I bought it, or did I just take a chance, or what? I spoke about it earlier in the video, but I'll say it again. Richard Brayshaw is his name. Flipping for a living. He's a Canadian reseller. I think it was him who was talking about them on his video one time, and he got 2 of them. And he is the reason I knew that camera had some value. So just another reseller talking about stuff that he's selling, you know. There's a lot of things I've learned. Most everything I've learned in the last year and a half has been from YouTube resellers. I learned a lot from even Glenn. I watch a lot of his stuff, and there's things that you pick up that I never thought of, you know, a lot of things. And Scott, I've learned a lot about, you know, the retail arbitrage side of things, and I'm not into that yet. But because Scott does it, I know that I have somebody to bounce ideas off of if I do want to get into it. So,
what was the name of that camera again?
Nishika. I'll spell it for you. Nishika, and there's 2 versions of it. There's the N8000 and the N9000. I don't know about the N9000. I haven't looked into that one yet. But it's really easy to, you can see the picture there. It's easy to recognize if you see that at a yard sale or a flea market.
Yeah, like 6 months ago, I'd passed by that and said, hey, that's a $2 camera.
Yeah, I have passed by them until I knew. Yeah. I've seen these at yard sales.
Too, you know?
Yep. Here's I don't know if you can see it, how well it comes across, but that's the kind of pictures it takes. You move them and they move. Right. It doesn't come across well on camera, but you had to send the film into Nishika's at the time. Now you can take the film and get a little film scanner and get the negatives and edit them in like Photoshop or something and make the 3D effects still. And that's why people use them, because they can still use them that way. So pretty cool camera. The N9000, I don't know if it does as good. It's got smaller lenses.
It's got value too. New, it sells for about 200.
Yeah, it's got smaller lenses, and it looks like it's a cheaper version of that camera. So, like a not as good a quality. Now this one is all plastic. There's no metal parts in it except for the strap holders, but it's got a lot of weight to it. But it's not like a high quality, you know, Canon or Pentax or something like that. It's all plastic, but people like them. People love to hate them, from what I understand. And you can find them at yard sales. I've passed them up because I didn't know. I thought, oh, that's a cheesy camera, you know. So I passed that one up at the flea market last year because I didn't know. And he wanted $30 for it at the time. Now, today when I went back, he was there. It's the first time I've seen him there this year. and it was sitting there, and it had all the accessories with it. And I said, well, how much you got to have for that? And he said, $10. I said, okay. But I only had $8 on me, so I had to run to the bank and get some more money. And then had to pay the admission to get back into the flea market, which is only 50 cents, no big deal. But because I had watched another YouTube reseller, now I know, now I know that that's something to look out for. I think even people that I like Richard Brayshaw. He's a great guy, and I've learned a ton from him. Even though he's in Canada, the idea and the concept is the same. He does a lot of local sales. He'll buy things and sell them the same day. I mean, he makes big money just local. Local here isn't as good, so I don't do it. But
I've got to stop these cameras. I had somebody make a comment on the Austin video, said that looked like the camera on the table was an Olympus XA. It's an old film camera. Look up an Olympus XA. They go for $50 to $60. XA and XA1 or XA1 and 2. Nice little film cameras that are kind of the thing slides open to expose the lens. They look like any old cheap film camera that's not worth anything. But
yeah, I know which ones you're talking about. Yeah,
that's probably why I walk right on by. But it's very interesting. As I post the yard sale videos, not only people see what I find and go, I wouldn't have picked that up. That's good. But I get a lot of comments back saying, "Hey, you missed this," and I kind of make a mental note, to make sure that that's just something else I'm looking for. Just add it. Dusty likes to call it his mental data bank or whatever he calls it. But the more you know, the more you know.
Yeah, that Olympus is just a little point shoot camera, right?
Oh, yeah, it's just a little point and shoot camera. Yeah. It's got a big flash on the side of it, and you kind of pull it open to get the lens out.
It's crazy that things have a cult following like that, like this camera and that stupid Fisher Price camera I showed earlier. They have a cult following, so the value goes up. They're not necessarily the latest and greatest piece of technology, but because somebody on YouTube or Facebook started promoting this certain item. What was it? There was a movie that had something in it recently. My brother was telling me why people buy the Polaroid cameras, because some band out there started using Polaroid cameras in their videos. And, one of their videos had Polaroid cameras in it. And after that, that's where it started selling. They started selling. Now that's starting to wane a little bit, but you can still make good, if you could find 10 Polaroid cameras a day, you're talking $280,
Yeah, some of the movies like Guardians of the Galaxy use the Walkman.
The Walkman, yeah.
So if you can find that exact model, that model is worth a lot of money because it was in the movie. I found one.
The one that Marty McFly used in the Back to the Future, that one goes for good money too. The shirt that Magnum PI wore, if you can find, I think it's Paradise Found is the brand name, but if you find that pattern, that brand is just, wasn't a high-end brand or anything, but because Magnum wore that shirt, people want it, and it goes for a couple $100, just that shirt. So, I mean, it's funny what people will pay for weird things just because somebody famous used it or somebody promoted it on YouTube or whatever, it's crazy. But all right, guys, I'm going to end the live broadcast.
Show you something real quick. Look at the tag.
After Glenn shows this. What is that? Let me.
Paradise Found.
Yeah. And some of that stuff does well. Yeah. I don't know how that particular shirt, but the Magnum PI shirt.
I just looked at the one on eBay. It's one of the old Hawaiian style. This more new. It's like new Corvettes on it, maybe 1987 or 90. I don't know.
Yeah, and that chicken clock. There's a clock out there that's a chicken and it clucks or something. It's just a stupid alarm clock that was made in China, but somebody promoted it somewhere, and that thing goes for really good money now if you ever find one. I've never seen one, but all right, I'm going to stop the live broadcast. So,
see you, man. Thanks, Dave.
You can hang out for a couple minutes, and I'll tell you a story of the mirror. But thanks all for showing up. I had a good time, and hopefully you guys learned something. Share it, like it, subscribe. Later.
Bye, everybody.